What's up, my people? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome, bienvenidos to otro episodio de Hoy En Día TV. I'm your host and producer, Yessie Rodriguez, and bringing out to the stage my amazing co-hosts. We have Nadine Barton, author, entrepreneur, and Dr. CC, the actionist, also author, entrepreneur. Hey, welcome, lovelies. ¿Cómo están? Hello, hello.
Hello. Happy Thursday.
How are you? Happy Thursday. Feliz jueves.
Feliz jueves. Yes.
Hey. So how y'all been since the last time I saw you?
Recouping.
Oh, you're recouping? Oh, because of that long drive. Mm.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it. Well, I know you had an exciting weekend, so we're gonna bookmark that for a few minutes, or a couple minutes. And we're gonna see how Cece's doing because she didn't have a chance to say how she's doing. How are you, Cece?
I was talking, but I was muted, so I had muted myself. But that's okay. But yeah, everything is good. Like enjoying the weather and stuff, and feeling better. My back's feeling better. So just on the upward mend and everything. So yeah, life is good. Enjoying the weather today. The nice breeze and everything. It was nice and warm. So.
My favorite time of the year.
Now, what's interesting is that I love this time of the year too, but it comes with a caveat for me because these allergies are still kicking my butt, girl. These allergies are still like.
You need to try the nasal spray.
I'll be honest with you, sis. I've tried everything. When I tell you everything under the sun, I've tried everything under the sun. So I don't know. I guess my body is unique and different. It just doesn't really respond well. I tried Allegra D, Zyrtec D, Flonase, all sorts of eye drops.
But
what about the actual injection?
My allergies used to be bad. You remember, Cece? My allergies used to be bad like Yesie's. I don't know what happened, how it changed. I have no idea. Just one day, disappeared.
I think it depends on like where you live, because like I was fine in Florida, fine in Georgia, but when I hit California, allergies were just like super explosive. But maybe you got to get like an injection. Yes, see, they have like those allergy shots and stuff, so that might be helpful.
Florida was bad for me. Florida was horrible. That's how my allergies got started. Really bad was in Florida.
Gotcha.
I had to get the injections in Florida.
Well, that could be what helped you. I mean, and that could be what I need too, right? For me, the whole injection thing, I'm not good with needles. It's just like, So
maybe just need to move to Georgia.
Final resort, then I guess I'll have to do that. But yeah, how was your experience with injections?
It was good. It worked.
But like, did you feel any pain? Do they numb the area? Like, what's the process? Because I got to prepare my mind mentally.
It's a regular shot. You don't feel any pain at all.
But I feel pain when I get shots. That's the problem. Like I feel it, especially
you tough. You just have to squeeze it and just take it, girl. Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like tough than that. What do you mean?
I used to be, when it comes to needles, sis, is one thing about me. I'm just like, woo. Like I have a respect for needles. I only put it in if like I absolutely have to, like it's my last resort. You know what I'm saying?
Do you pass out?
I used to hyperventilate to the point where I would like get myself dizzy. This was years ago. As I grew older, right, I've learned like, okay, it's a shot. But before, I'm like, no. Just thinking of a foreign object in your body is just like, so
yeah.
When I was in Miami, I used to, as a corpsman, I used to draw blood and do all those things. But I don't like people drawing blood on me. But the thing is, I never missed. Never.
I salute you, sis. I salute you.
That's good. I hate. That's the part I hate, when they miss and then they're digging around trying to, get your veins and do all the things. Like, yeah, like no. Exactly. I get you with the needle thing. Yes, it's a little scary. And then you're hyperventilating. That's super scary.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. One time I went to the ER and the girl was trying to take my blood here in Georgia. She was trying to draw my blood and it wasn't coming out. Guess what she did? I think I told you this, Cece. I don't know if you remember.
What did she do?
Bevel down.
What is that?
He had the bevel down. So the little part of the needle with the hole and it's kind of like slanted. It's supposed to be up. It was down. And I was like, I told her, I said, I used to be ill, so that was supposed to be up. I don't know if she was in training. I don't know what the case is. I just happened to look down. I said, girl, the bevel is down.
Mm-mm.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what is she? See,
So
that's
Missy, did you like?
Go ahead.
So did you have like a traumatic experience, like as a kid, or like with that, like?
I'm glad you asked that question because I was actually going to volunteer it, but answered your question. The reason why I am the way I am, right? So yes, at 5 years old, I still remember clear as day in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, getting blood drawn as a 5-year-old, imagine. And the nurse was just fresh out of nursing school. She had no clue what she was doing. She kept poking me and poking me and poking me. By the time I left, my whole arm right here was like purple and blue. And I was just crying up a storm. And that really, really, really traumatized me to the point where I'm like, no. Imagine 5-year-old, right? You getting poked and poked and poked. I remember that. Like, that's how traumatizing it was, but I still remember it.
Yeah, kids' brains are like sponge. So you're going to remember, at those age, you're going to remember those things.
So that's the why behind the whole needle thing. Like, yeah. But we'll see. I'm going to pray about it and see what happens.
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good. And I hate needles too. I don't like them. They don't feel good. Even just a little niche. I don't like feel anything sharp going into my skin, piercing. I don't like it. I grin and bear it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to say I grin, but I bear it.
Yeah.
But I get it. Yeah. Wow. Oh.
I know.
Man, your mom or whomever took you there should be like, no more sticking my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, no way.
No, that didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's traumatizing. Traumatizing at that age,
Right? Yeah. Yeah. But hey, I mean, we all have our why, and that's my why, and I'll pray about it and see. The good thing is that you can tolerate needles, Nadine, and I salute you for that, girl. But with me, it's a different story. Like I said, I've gone as I've grown older. I've come accustomed to it. Like, hey, this is part of life. This is what's needed. Okay, the et ceteras of it, right? But I'm like, if I have to stay far away from it, that's my preference.
So is that the same way with the baby? Is he scared of needles too?
You know what? He so far hasn't shown, like, outside of just getting like his vaccines and stuff. Like he really hasn't shown anything scary like that. He's scared of needles.
Well, let me ask you this, because of your trauma with the blood and everything, the needles. Like, so you're taking him for his checkups and stuff like that. How was that for you as a mom, having your little guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have dad do that, or like do you go to those appointments? Like, how does that work?
And that's another great question. So with me knowing what I know today, especially about the whole vaccines and needles, I ask a lot of questions, right? Something that I wish my parents would have done growing up. Because even as we know, doing the research, and you all listening and viewing, you can do your own research. A lot of these vaccines are unfortunately causing more harm than good to our kids, right? And so with me, I do all the research. I look at the side effects, but that's me in my analytical brain and looking at the root cause of different things, because I look and analyze how different kids are, right? Just observing. And then I look to see, okay, how would that impact my child? And I get it. Everybody's DNA is different. Reactions may react differently towards different children, which is understandable. But at the end of the day, based on what we know today in 2026, if you all do your research too, we're going to come to an understanding that vaccines are doing more harm than good to our kids. And so I say that to answer your question, Cece, I do a lot of research. I ask a lot of questions. If there's something I don't agree with, I tell the doctor right away, like, no, that's not going to happen today. And then she asks me, oh, well, this and that. And I tell her the why, and I show her the proof in the pudding. I show her the paperwork, like, well, according to my research, this is what it says here. Like, I'm that type of parent because I want to make sure that my child remains healthy as possible if I can help it, right? So
Wow.
Well, that part, yeah, I was like trying to say like how, because so you're taking him to the appointment, so you're strong enough, not the fear is not there, like it's not like a relived experience for you seeing your baby go through it. That's okay, all right.
I want to be his strength. I want to be that. Like, if he does feel some type of way, I don't want him to see that in me, because I'm the parent, right? I can't be crying and boo-hooing with him, and he's like, "What are you here for, ma'am?" So yeah, but
Okay, cool beans. I agree with that with the vaccines and stuff. I was vaccinated as a kid, vaccinated in the military, all the vaccinations. I mean, anything they can stick you with, they stuck you with it, right? Put it in you.
Anthrax.
And then for my kids, they were vaccinated. And like now, we don't do any more of the vaccinations. Just, same thing, because yeah, there's just so much poison in these things. Some of them, they do wonders, and others, you just got to know what you're putting in your body, because it's a chemical, it's a drug, so yeah. And every person reacts differently. Every single person, so they can have the studies, they can have the data, and we do, which is great, that's been done, but every single person is different. And we also know too that, people of color, we metabolize medicines and different things differently. There's some medicines that we can't take, just because of our DNA and how, you know what I'm saying? So that's like a whole thing too, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
And I personally know somebody close to me that their doctor, because they refuse to take their kids to get the vaccine because they know the side effects, the doctor said, well, you're going to have to find another provider.
What?
Uh-huh. Yep.
That happened to us during COVID, when Ishmael was, getting ready to go and do school and all that stuff. And they was like, well, he has to have this, otherwise he can't go to school. But I was like, I guess he won't be going to school. And like I said, we talked on another show, we are, fortunate enough to just, be able to do our thing at home. But it was like, you got to push the system, because the doctors and everybody, their hands are kind of like tied, from big pharma and all the powers that be. And so it's like, in order to keep your job, right, you got to do these things. And a lot of times the doctors and nurses, they don't want to do it. And then you have the brave ones, and I give all praise and glory to God for the ones that are brave and say, no, we're not going to. And we know that some of those people did lose their jobs and things of that nature, and that affected their livelihood, right? Because how are they going to support their families and eat and do all the things? But I'm just so glad that, people here in America, I'm pretty sure all across the world, people were pushing back and saying, no, we don't know what this drug does. You know what I'm saying? And I know it was a scary, scary time. And so many people were dying if we just didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And it was just so, so scary. But I'm so glad, and I thank God that we were that family that were like, we were just asking basic questions and nobody had answers. But you want me to take this foreign, vaccine, but you have no, like, I am the guinea pig. Like, I just can't do that. Like, in common sense, they say, like, women, our body, our choice. They were not giving us that. We know that military members were getting kicked out left and right. People were losing their jobs left and right. It was like awful. And you were being bullied by government, being bullied, to. I did not take anthrax. No, I did not do that. Nope, did not do that one. So, but I know to each his own. Everybody has to make their own choice for their own health and things of that nature. But I'm like, if you can't answer basic questions for me, I got to be smart enough to be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait on that one, okay? And kudos to those people that took the shot and they are the experiment and they're being studied, and you know what I'm saying, because that's scary for them too. And then even the things that they're dealing with in their bodies right now, you know what I'm saying? So I pray even for those people, because it took courage to get the injection and it took courage not to get the injection. We were just kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place, and every family had to make that decision. I just don't like how things went about to try to bully people and force people and their livelihood and things that wasn't right. But to each his own. But I just pray, I would pray, because my brother was active duty at the time, and they had get all these things, and I said, God, let it just be like water. It even nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, let it be a placebo. Let it not even, you know what I'm saying? I would pray prayers like that, so that poison wouldn't be in their bodies and stuff, for all the people that were forced to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm so glad that you shared that, because people,
now,
listeners and viewers that listening to us here today, please do your research, please do your homework. We're sharing this information because we've experienced this firsthand, or we know someone who's experienced this firsthand, right? But we still encourage you to do your own homework and do your own research to help you make the right decision for you and your family. Because at the end of the day, that's who they have. Your children have you as a parent, as a guide. You may help may help a cousin or aunt or your father. You don't know who you're going to help, but doing your research matters. That's key, right? And that's what we're sharing with here today. Nadine, you mentioned anthrax. Tell me about this whole vaccine because I'm curious about the whole anthrax thing.
It was a series of a vaccine we had to take back in the 90s. But CC, back then they were threatening us to be, out of the service if we didn't take it. I don't know. Maybe it depends on your department, but I took it and I'm okay now.
Yeah, they were threatening.
Mm.
They were threatening. I just like no, like because there's loopholes in everything that you can get through. So for my religious, there's God always provides a way. And sometimes, it's just the way is just no, and you got to stand on it. And so God was with me, but I didn't know how to do anthrax. And I plenty of people, all friends out there have.
And maybe that's why I generated migraines, because I generated migraines when I was on the kidney arc, and that's when I took the anthrax. So maybe that's how I got my migraines.
Ah,
could be.
Yeah.
On another note. Mm-hmm. On another note, Israel, my little guy, he lost a tooth today. I know he's been losing teeth left and right. But so I was like, hey, let's get the tooth ready for the tooth fairy. He goes, no, mommy, we're not doing the tooth fairy anymore. He goes, I want to keep all my teeth. He won't give it to the tooth fairy. Because the last time on his little baggie, I got to show you guys, he wrote a note on there for the tooth fairy talking about, please, can you double my money? I need an increase. Like he told her what he wanted to and the tooth fairy didn't do it. So he was like, no, she don't want to give me no extra money. She's like, get none of my teeth. Where did the teeth go anyway? Again, the questions, I'm just like, I don't know. There's a tooth fairy land. But he will not give it. He's like, nope, just keep this for me. I want to keep all my teeth.
He's a big negotiator, just like his mommy.
God, I love that.
He's going to be a great businessman.
I love that. Yeah, he is. That means you're teaching him well as a parent. You should be proud. You're teaching him well.
Exactly.
Lovely.
So we have an amazing the tooth fairy to the Santa Claus. He's gonna be like, "What Santa Claus?"
I feel you. We have an amazing guest patiently waiting for us behind the scenes. But before we go into our guest, I just want to do a quick recap of this past weekend. So we had our We Don't Wait, We Create event that happened this past Saturday, and it was amazing. And just as a heads up, there's going to be a part 2 coming in August 22nd, but more to come on that. So for those who missed it this go round, your opportunity is August 22nd to come out and meet with us. We Don't Wait, We Create part 2. Also, Nadine had a premiere last Sunday as well. So the day after, she drove back up to Georgia and had a premiere. So first of all, I want to get your feedback on what was your experience with We Don't Wait, We Create? Would you both think about it? And Nadine, tell us about your premiere too.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, man, that was such a great event that you guys put on. And if you guys are actors, creators, directors, writers, entrepreneurs, business personnel, this is an event that you want to definitely come out and join and mingle and network and just support each other. It's just a good environment just to see people that you don't know and you become familiar with, and just to get to know the masses. So it was a great experience. And it's so crazy. It was a quick turnaround. I came down, went to the event, woke up at 5 o'clock to come back for the premiere. So it was like, but it was good. I'm looking forward to the next one. Yeah.
CC, thank you so much, Nadine. CC, what about you?
Yeah, it was fun. It was different from other networking events that I've been to. I like that it was more laid back and just really casual. You just kind of come as you are. It wasn't, you really just kind of being there to impress people, but it was to make those genuine connections. And what I loved is that the people that were there from all different, backgrounds and things of that nature, they really supported like the vendors and stuff like that. So that was always, appreciated and really super nice. And I just loved it. It was it was very just laid back and just mellow. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been to networking events where, you're in, these places and you're in your suit and ties and all, and you're posh, but so it wasn't like that. You could really just truly let your hair down and really connect with people on whatever vibe, right? That was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know, friendships were made and the connections were made and people were helping people. There's a gentleman that was there. Dan, you want to shout him out? And we've even connected afterwards, right? We talked when we were there at the event. I know we're going to have him on the show later as well. But then we've been talking, since the event, and we have so much in common, do so many of the same things. And he actually showed up at the boxing event. I coach and teach boxing empowerment, him and his wife. And so they were able to, partake of, the nonprofit and the things that we do. So it's been really a really harmonious, relationship that we're building and seeing how we can, take this to the next level and go farther. So it was a great event. You guys did an amazing job.
Yeah, great vibes, great music, great food. The food was amazing.
Oh, well, thank you so much for that feedback. I mean, hey, you heard it firsthand. No, I did not pay Nadine or Cece to say that. This came genuinely from their hearts, right? So just a heads up, just because they helped me with Hoy En Día doesn't mean that you have to say that. No,
Right.
I wanted them to know this, right? They had no idea I was going to ask this question, but that's why, because that is the vibe that we create. We're all professionals here. We all know how it goes. And we all know that at the end of the day, we're human, and they want that connection, right? As we grow older, we realize that not everybody's going to be in your corner, but guess what? You're going to find people that are going to be in your corner. Just because not everybody's in your corner, you're going to find the people. God is going to align you with those people that are going to be in your corner. And like Nadine and Cece just shared, this was an opportunity to find those people that are going to be in your corner. Anybody else who's not in your corner, guess what? That's their loss. Bye. What's that saying? Bye, Felicia. We ain't got time for you. Bye.
That part. Bye, Felicia. Everybody has their crowd, their village. So, you just have to find that niche and, that group of people that you could communicate with, network with, and you'll be golden. People with genuine intention, the same intentions as you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes. And so again, August 22nd, We Don't Wait, We Create Part 2 is coming. We do have an amazing special guest. That's going to be the guest speaker. I'm excited, but I was told not to say anything. So that's all I can say. That's all I can say. This person has been in a lot of major productions and it's big. So more to come. That's all I'm going to say. So if you weren't there last Saturday, you got to be there August 22nd. We Don't Wait, We Create Part 2. Now, it is not going to be outdoors. Outdoors, we thought it was going to be a little cooler, but it got a little warmer, which is fine. I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. But this time, it is going to be an indoors. It's going to be a nice venue. So, hey, We Don't Wait, We Create Part 2 is coming soon. So make sure to be there, okay? All right, yes. Well, our guest has been patiently waiting for us. And we've been talking about vaccines and just different things that connect to spirituality, right? And it gave me a thought that the alignment here that we have is the spiritual awakening, empowered and inspirational, right? So a spiritual awakening, for those who don't know, is when you start seeing life differently, not because the world has changed, but because you mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually have changed. You've grown, you've evolved. So it's the moment when you begin to question what you've been taught, release what no longer serves you, and step into who you truly are. Similar to what Cece and I and Nadine talked about, the whole vaccine thing, right? Although in our brain, growing up, we were brainwashed, quote unquote, to think that vaccines had this amazing positive impact. Not saying that all vaccines were bad, but as we grew and evolved, now 2026, all the research, all the studies, all the scientific proven tests, not all vaccines are good, right? That was us stepping into the spiritual awakening to understand that what we've been taught back in the day was not always true. So as you become aware of who you are, your energy, your purpose, and the power for you to carry yourself within and be your best self, you stop shrinking, you stop settling, and you start aligning your life with what really feels real, meaningful, intentional, similar to what we did last weekend when we connected with We Don't Wait, We Create, right? So spiritual awakening isn't always about becoming someone new, but it's remembering who you've always been and really tapping into that. And so with our guest today, that is what she embodies. So today is going to be a powerful and thought-provoking episode because we welcome an incredible author, entrepreneur. Like, she's one of my friends that I've known for years. I've known her for a long time. Nicole Burgess, she's an author, actress, entrepreneur, visionary storyteller. She's based out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and she's a founder of NBN Publishing and Blackbird Productions, where she brings transformative stories to life across her books, film, theater, and podcasting. Her work lives at the intersection of creativity and conscious living, inviting audiences to explore deeper questions about the purpose, meaning, and what it truly means to be fully alive. Right. So with screen credits, including major platforms like in Hulu and Netflix, alongside a thriving literary career, Nicole embodies the power of a multidimensional artistry and individual. Her latest book, The Awakened Soul, Field Manual, is a guide for those ready to live with intention, offering transformative practices that inspire personal growth and self-discovery. So in today's episode, we're going to tap into that creativity as a spiritual practice, the journey of becoming across multiple creative paths, building a purpose-driven life and business, and the power of storytelling to awaken and transform. So without further ado, we're going to welcome our special guest, Nicole Burgess. Yes.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to Hoy En Día TV. Bienvenida. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I love this conversation that you guys had earlier. So this is really enjoyable.
Thank you. Yes. Well, Nicole, I want to introduce you to my amazing co-host. We have Nadine Barton, author, entrepreneur. Also, all three of y'all have that in common. You're all authors. I love it. We also have Dr. Cece, the actionist, who's also an author and entrepreneur. I'm not quite an author yet. Eventually I'll get there, but hey, I'm just me. But lovelies, this is Nicole, and we are truly thrilled and excited to have you on here. So your bio says amazing things, and wow, especially with your book, I'm excited to hear more about that too. But in a nutshell, who do you say you are, Nicole?
Wow. Well, I would say, it's hard because, we, especially nowadays, we're so drawn to titles to explain who we are. And I feel like we're also multifaceted. But I think if I were to narrow it down, I would say author, actress, entrepreneur, business owner, and storyteller. And storytelling is really the root of what I embody because I've done it across all mediums. So whether that's film, film writing, dance, acting, any sort of way to express yourself is the way that I've integrated that into my life and everything that I do. So I think maybe the first thing that I would call myself is a storyteller. And then it just has branched out into all these different avenues. So, writing, acting, producing, screenwriting, directing, and owning a business. So yeah, that's who I am in a nutshell.
I love that. Yes. So let's peel the onion, so to speak. I always like to say that word, peel the onion, because we're going to go deeper into the layer of who Nicole is, right? So growing up, was this always a passion that you had to be an actress, to be a book writer, right? A storyteller, or if not, how did that evolve? When did you realize that purpose?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that for me, I've always wanted to tell stories. I've always wanted to perform. And I remember being 5 years old and I was in my, parents' kitchen and all of a sudden I just broke out in a British accent. I don't know how I came about it, maybe from some cartoon that I was watching, but I think that's when my parents realized that oh, there's something unique about her. And so that was just fun for me to just play around and perform for my parents and my cousins and my sister and my grandparents. And then, around that time, actually maybe about 2 years earlier, so around 3 years old, I was dancing. So my parents put me in, dance recitals and all this and all that. And so that just grew from there. So the performing side just really came out the more I was on the stage, the more I was performing in front of people. And then it turned into musicals, elementary school and then local theater productions. And then around 8 years old is when I feel like I truly found my voice. So I happened to find my grandmother's typewriter when I was 8, and I found it upstairs in one of her extra bedrooms. And I just, I asked her, I said, can I play around with this? And she kind of set it up for me. And I started writing stories that my cousin and I, so I would type them out, and then my cousin and I would get dressed up in my grandmother's closet, and we would, put all of her clothes on, and we would perform the stories that I wrote for my grandmother. And so that was at 8 years old. And so that's when I realized, like, I really enjoy this. I love being on the stage. I love being able to tap into some extraordinary place and create some story that myself and my cousin and my sister and my friends can just perform. And so that grew as I got older. I was doing musicals, doing a lot of dance as well. And then by the time I got to like middle school and high school, I was kind of doing the same thing. So I would come up with stories about my friends in high school, and I would literally print out like scripts, and I would bring them to school and I would like let people read these stories that I wrote, like all my friends, and I would, create some like psychological thriller, something that happened on campus at night or something like that. And everyone had like a role that they played in it, and people were just circulating it on campus, and everybody loved it. And it just grew. It's always, I think, been in me. And then as the older I've gotten, the more I've been able to learn to monetize it, I guess. So turn it into a career path. So now obviously I'm, professionally acting and professionally producing and screenwriting and directing. So it's just blossomed from just like an innate love of just the storytelling that I had as a kid.
Wow, I love that. That is beautiful. Like, to see how you've evolved growing, like you were sharing 5 years old, your parents knew you had a special gift, and you continued to grow it as you were a young kid, teenager, an adult. Like, that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful.
Sure.
Before I ask my follow-up questions, I'm going to see if either Nadine or Cece have any additional questions for you, but I have plenty more. So trust me, you're going to be on here for a while.
Yes, I do. So welcome, Nicole. It's a pleasure meeting you.
You as well.
Yeah. So my first question is, what does conscious storytelling mean to you in today's world?
Yeah. Wow. Great question. So I feel like conscious storytelling is the storytelling that isn't recycled content. I feel like, for the latter part of, I don't know, maybe 100 years, we've just been recycling the same story. So we'll hear the same old fairy tales redone and retold. We'll see the same old kind of Star Wars-y type of, narratives retold and retold. And I mean, it's fun, it's entertaining, but like, as someone who really wants to draw from pure creative potential, meaning like untapped creativity, recycling old stories it's not fulfilling for me. So for me, being more conscious is being aware of the fact that we're not retelling recycled stories. We're telling stories that are transformative. We're telling stories that can actually make an impact in the world. So maybe not just for entertainment purposes, but to act as a sort of catalyst for the evolution of mankind. I feel like there's so much that everyone can bring to the table when it comes to creativity and consciousness, meaning like being fully present and awake in your experience and not being like a sleepwalker watching recycled content. It's being fully aware of your impact on the environment. It's being fully aware of your impact on other people. It's being fully aware of why society has turned into what it has turned into, and what type of stories can we tell and express to get us all back into alignment with our highest purpose.
Awesome. Great answer. I appreciate that. And I have one more. So how do you have a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
Great resume. So how do you stay aligned with your purpose while balancing so many creative paths?
Yeah, great question. I would say listening. I really value kind of taking a pause and really listening to what I feel like God is telling me to focus on. So there's so many avenues, so many directions that I could go in, but I feel like when a project or an idea comes to me that I really truly resonate with, and it really hits me in my heart center, I feel like that's like that's my pull to focus on that project. So that can come in the form of a podcast, that can come in the form of a play, that could come in the form of a documentary, that can come in the form of like a pilot episode or like a TV series. So there's so many different avenues to really pull that story and then produce it through. But for me, it's the story and it's the pull towards producing that story. And then on top of that, like just staying really grounded and, like I said, like present. And so for me, like making sure that I have downtime. So like with so many projects, like being able to take like a day, like for me, it's Saturday. I try not to schedule anything on Saturday. And that's my way of just kind of like sinking in, settling in. I get to convene with nature and really truly listen. And that really helps with like my direction and which direction I want to, I feel pulled towards at that point.
Awesome. Thank you. You just need that reset, right? You can't work 24/7. You're going to run yourself dry.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and welcome to the show. I love that you take that day, because the day was given by the creator, right? And especially on Saturday. Saturday is the Sabbath, right? So it's the day of rest, and so we should rest. And, you know, there's been proven studies that when you actually rest, now scientists, all right, you know, the scientists have done this, but there are proven studies that when you actually rest on the God-appointed Shabbat, the Sabbath, right, that your body, right, like healing, you know what I'm saying? It like, it's exponential. Like they have done real studies on people showing these things. And I'm like, what? Because God says that the Sabbath is a blessing, right? He created that for us. So you're supposed to take that day off. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't take a day off, but I'm like, our God is good. He gives us that day and we needed to reset. That's really good. So I wanted to ask you, like, yeah, okay, that's right. So your passion, what is your genre that you know, that you most prefer? Like, so when you're writing your stories, is it like thrillers? Is it dramas? Like, what is your passion?
Oh gosh. I really love psychological thrillers. I think it's like the complexity of the mind and like and the places it can go. And so that's like my wheelhouse. And I haven't actually brought that to the like board yet. So those are all screenplays and writing projects that I have like tucked away that I've written like 10, 15 years ago that are like kind of in my Rolodex ready to be brought out. But like so that's my favorite genre is psychological thrillers and like anything that has to do with like making people think. So it doesn't, the storyline doesn't go exactly the way you think it's gonna go. And kind of like mind-bending kind of stuff. But I feel like the realm of storytelling that I'm in right now is on the human experience, like human stories. So whether that's like a person who experienced like an extreme amount of trauma and then it triggered them to do something that they shouldn't have done, and exploring that and exploring like the whys behind that. Is really fascinating to me. And I just finished producing a play, and it's a slightly different kind of genre, but it was about a woman who is in her 50s and she believes that she's pregnant. So and so she goes around telling all the people in her world that she's pregnant, and yet she has no proof. She's not taken a test or anything like that. So people are questioning like her sanity in a sense, because they're like, are you sure it's not menopause? So, and that play is, we had huge response. People loved it. But it was left open-ended at the end, because the idea was to have audiences question whether it was almost like a dialogue on the woman's experience and what happens when she approaches that age where you're kind of past your prime of having children according to society, right? So it the whole conversation that kind of happened throughout the play was facing identity. So facing the fact that you might potentially not be able to have children and how you cope with that. So that was a really fascinating play to co-produce, because it goes into the mindset of a woman when she is approaching menopause and all the ups and downs she's experiences, all of the delusions, if you will, that she creates for herself to like say, oh, no, I still have more time. So it's a lot of the topics that I like to focus on really dive into the inner workings of the human experience. Really is kind of, I guess, in a nutshell what it is.
Oh, I love it. That's so deep. I'm like picturing everything, you know, with the play and everything, and it sounds amazing. And so I like the psychological, you know, kind of, but then it's like too, because I've been, you know, on the end, like where I'm watching it and I'm like, no, how could it end like that? Why are they in, you know, like, I want, you know, the good guy to win or what, you know.
Right.
But now in this thing I'm thinking, and so now I'm left with my thought. So good, right? It's like good and it's bad. It's like, but it's really good because it does make you sit and think. Like, what is this outcome going to be? What should it be? What can it be? And so it takes you deeper, right? And it really, I believe in these psychological, I believe that they really help people grow, and it really tests, right, how you think and how you process. And so it's, I love it. Like I said, I love it and I hate it. I'm like, but how, you know, you can't leave me hanging like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you get to finish the story.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's why I like the open-endedness, because it's like we're so used to stories that just finish and give us the end result, but that doesn't really create a thought-provoking dialogue after the film or the play or the documentary. So if you leave it open-ended, then people are, you know, walking away from that and they're talking. Now people are talking for days, and some, like, people came up to me weeks after the play and they were still like asking questions and wanting to know more and trying to figure out like how, like what was really going on in her head and what was really the outcome. And so it's beautiful because it does make you tap more into your own consciousness and think deeper than you normally would.
Yeah, I love that because it's a conversation starter. And you get to have this open dialogue and just to kind of see, like you just said, how people are thinking, what we're feeling, what emotions did that bring up, especially for those, 40, 50-year-old women, they in your 30s, they're calling you, for they're calling us, what is it? Geriatric. I'm like, what are you talking about? So it's like, what's going on here? Like our society is messed up. Like, how dare you? But no, right. So yeah, it really does open up those conversations and things of that nature. Now, let me ask you this, right? So out of all of the work that you've done, what was like your most favorite? Like, whether it was, writing one of the screenplays or writing, a movie or acting in something different in somebody else's stuff. Like, what has been your absolute like favorite project?
Wow. I like every project. I know that's like not the answer you want to hear. I like every project because every project is different. And, Yessie and I have worked on several projects together, excuse me, that unfortunately never really came to fruition, but the working on the project is super fun, because you get to meet with people, you get to explore like certain characters. I prefer, my favorite projects are the projects where I get to really dive deep into a character. I think maybe the one that stands out the most for me is a play that I did called Unshame on You. And it was when I lived in Atlanta. The play was about three women. It followed three women, and they're all neighbors, but they're all experiencing different situations. And so my character, her name was Imara, but she is experiencing a domestic violence situation. So she has to get herself out of it. And she does, she overcomes it. But in that play, I actually had like a 13-minute monologue. And in the monologue, I went from joyful sad to reflective to joyful to angry. And it was like this basically almost 15 minutes of like extreme swings of emotion that I had to do in a dialogue on stage in front of people. And we toured too. So it was like all of these different theaters that we performed in. But that I think was my most favorite, just because I got to, one, perform live, and two, I got to really dive deep into a character that I had never explored before, and a topic I had never really it didn't register for me. And I'm so glad I did it, because I got to see the impact of what that play had. So at the end of the play, at the end of each performance, we had a question and answer session, and people from the audience would ask us, each of us actors, questions. And I remember I got the most incredible questions from people or even comments and saying how like my performance really helped them with their own domestic violence situation, or they had a friend that was in a really bad situation and watching me perform brought tears to their eyes because they were so worried about their friend, and seeing someone on the stage come out of it, you know, and go through all those emotions that she knew her friend had gone through, and be able to come out on the other side was just so beautiful for her. So being able to have that, being able to impact people with my work is like, that's the greatest. I feel like for any actor, any performer, that's like what you want. That's like the highest level of achievement, in my opinion, you know, is if you can impact the people who are watching you perform. So that would, I think, would be my favorite.
Wow. Before you go any further, I mean, that's amazing. You said you did a 15-minute monologue. I was just going back to the movie Fences with Viola and Denzel Washington, where that dialogue was long. I don't know how she remembered those lines.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Right. It is a lot. Yes. Being an actor takes a lot out of you. But Nicole, I'm going to ask you that follow-up question. We're going to go on a quick commercial break with our sponsors. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Hoy En Día TV.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth, in the job market, transformation has never been closer, because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
Dream, explore, discover with Nadine's Travel Oasis. Your next adventure is just a booking away. From breathtaking beaches to vibrant cityscapes, we handle the details so you can make the memories. Luxury, leisure, or last-minute getaways, we've got you covered. Book today and let Nadine's Travel Oasis take you places.
Are you looking for the perfect shirt for that special occasion? At Collective Custom Wear, we bring your vision to life. From weddings, family reunions, anniversaries, or casual outing with friends, express yourself with your unique style and leave a memorable mark. Order now. Our custom shirts are designed just for you.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy En Día TV, Thursdays, 7:30 p.m.
Yes, big shout out to our sponsors. We have some amazing sponsors. So, hey, for those who are still looking to find their purpose, because we all are here on purpose on this earth. If you were born, you are breathing, you're alive, you're well, you are here on purpose. And hey, it's okay if you don't know what your purpose is. But guess what? I know someone who can help you, and that is Dr. Cece, the Actionist, with Inspire for Purpose and Girls with Gigs. She can help you get aligned with your purpose and help you grow and evolve on purpose. Yes. Also, travel, spring, summer, fall, winter, whatever it is you got planned. It is always good to plan early, but guess what? I know someone who can help you plan that trip in advance. Reach out to Nadine. She will get you right and get your trip aligned so that you don't have to bust your pockets open just to go on a trip, right? Because nowadays, even gas is expensive. Gosh, we have to spend like $100 on gas. I'm just saying, just think about that. Plan ahead, right? That's my recommendation to you. Also, we have collective custom wear for those who are coming up with a family gathering, a bridal party, a groom party, a birthday party, whatever it is that you can think of, corporate event. Get your custom shirts. Look at that. We're rocking our Hoy En Día shirts. Collective Custom Wear made these. So get your shirts today. Also, you got to look good with the accessories, right? Hey, there you go, accessories by Divine Beauty and Accessories. So get your accessories today. Yes. Shout out to the sponsors. Nicole, back to you, ma'am. Yes, we are thrilled to have you. Deep conversation already. I love it. This is what Hoy En Día is, right? For those who don't know, tuning in for the first time, Hoy En Día is here to positively inspire, motivate, enlighten, educate, and entertain you, the viewer and listener, with each and every episode. And I know we are doing that already because I'm getting the warm and fuzzies in my body. That means we're inspiring you, right? Yes. All right. So follow-up question. With acting, people don't realize when you say to yourself that you want to be an actor, there's so much that really comes out of you. I know for me, emotionally, physically, spiritually, like when you really dive into that character, when I dive into that character, it takes a lot of me. How do you feel, especially you sharing that you did that almost 15-minute monologue? I'm sure that took a lot out of you. So what would you say that would describe a best description of a good actor that could really make you feel that?
Wow. Yes. Wow. Great question. And, it's just like you said, like, that's how it is for me. Like when I'm performing, it's mind, body, soul, spirit, energy. It's everything. I'm in it. I'm in that character. And I think, a good actor can do that. And at the same time, a good actor knows how to be able to pour themselves into the work and into the character without letting it take over them. I think, a lot of times, especially with like method acting and stuff like that, people get this idea that they need to, if they're playing a homeless character, they need to go sleep in the street and stuff like that. And it's fine, to each his own. But I think there's a way that as an actor, you can just kind of shift into the mind of that character without having to embody like that full lifestyle. And I think people who know how to do that are really, really fantastic performers. And Nadine, you had mentioned Viola Davis. She is one of my favorite actresses, because I think it's funny because I remember watching her when she was just doing smaller roles in big feature films, and no one even knew who she was. And I just remember her because I just was thinking, wow, that woman that played the receptionist was phenomenal. So there's something that she had even back then, before she was even a household name, that stood out. And I think that was the fact that she was able to really pour herself into the character and almost like give a character life through her, but then also being able to leave it behind when the production or the show is doing. So I think that's it. And so for me, being able to detach is important, because it can be extremely taxing, especially when, for me, when I was doing that role of, a woman who's in a domestic, and then there was also some action scenes on the stage. So there was stuff happening on the stage as well. So like being sure to leave that behind and not take it with me was super important. So just knowing the difference between myself and the character, and being able to maneuver between that, I think is like super important.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Now, with that in mind, I'm gonna just tap over to your book. So your book focuses on awakening and spirituality, right? So before we really go into the weeds of the book, I want to ask you just a general surface question about the awakening process. A lot of people, when they experience awakening, it might be uncomfortable. It's something new, it's something different. They're like, what am I feeling, right? So what did that look like for you? And how can you help others understand when they are experiencing a spiritual awakening?
Wow. Yes. So for me, the reason why I wrote the book is because the awakening experience can be completely disorienting. And so I was like, okay, I went through this. I know what this is like. Let me just write some practical steps, 20. And so the book is about 25 practices to help you kind of navigate that awakening. And then throughout the book, there's like touch points. So you can see where you are in your journey. There's affirmations. There's all sorts of ways to help you refocus and reorient yourself. But for me, it started when I was, my true awakening experience started when I was 18, but the beginnings of it started when I was 15 and I was in high school. And I just started seeing, I was one of those kids where it was like, even it's funny, you can even go back to like when I was really, really young, because I remember being in Sunday school and we were reading the Bible, and I remember just asking a ton of questions. And my Sunday school teacher was like, what are you asking, And I just continued. So like by the time I got to high school, I was like straight up challenging teachers. And it wasn't that I was being confrontational. It was just that the things that we were learning in school just didn't resonate with me, which is really interesting because, now we all, as adults, we're very familiar with like what it means when things resonate with you. But as a 15-year-old, I was very familiar with that. And I was like, something about what we just read in that book doesn't sound right. It doesn't sit with my spirit. And so that's kind of when it started, the inklings of it started. And then by the time I was 18, I had a really difficult freshman year in college, some really, really traumatic things happened in my life and with my family. And so that's when it just like hit me like a freaking train. And it just came, my entire world, it was like a rug had been pulled out from underneath me. And that's when I immediately started seeing the world as a completely different from what I was told as a child. And that's when I started. So by the time I was 18, it was just like this back and forth of like trying to fit into the world around me, but then knowing that there's something else going on and there's something bigger and there's a much higher purpose to all of this. And then having to navigate that. And I had absolutely no one to help me with this. I had, one or two friends that we would have these really in-depth, like philosophical conversations, but that was really it. We were talking about like the nature of reality and stuff like that. So that was nice, but I didn't have anyone to like hold my hand and say, hey, Nicole, you're going through a full-blown spiritual awakening and this is what you need to do. So it took about 25 years of me going in and out of that, like in and out of these spaces where I'm seeing things differently, I'm observing things differently, I'm getting downloads from source, God, whatever you want to call it. But I'm being able to have heightened intuition and heightened sensory, like being able to like hear people's thoughts and stuff. And I'm freaking out and I'm like, what is going on? So that took about 25 years again of me being able to ground myself and understand what was going on. And so luckily I was able to kind of fall into yoga and breath work and grounding practices about like 10 or 15 years ago, like before it became like super popular. And I was really into like Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, all of the outside of the realm of allopathic medicine, which is your traditional medicines. But I started really integrating all of these different philosophies from different cultures, different healing practices, and different knowledge that that you can get from reading things like the Emerald Tablets, and the Kabbalion and the Mahabharata. So it's I was able to really pull all of that together. And then when I realized like, wow, okay, I know I'm pretty good at this. And then I saw people struggling. About last year, around fall of last year, I came across a YouTube video, and it was people who were going through the things that I went through when I was 18. And it was heartbreaking. It was a heartbreaking compilation video. And I said, you know what? I need to do something about this. So then I just sat down and I just wrote the guidebook. So yeah, that's how it came about.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And wow, that's deep, especially the part that really resonated with me when you're hearing people's thoughts. That's wow. That's a beautiful gift to have. I mean, beautiful, good and bad, right? It's like,
yeah.
Okay, you can hear thoughts, and it's like, do I really want to hear your thoughts? Yeah. And so with your book, The Awakened Souls Field Manual, can you share one practice from the book that someone can start applying today? And then the reason why they should really read your book, really absorb it, and how does it align with them as well?
Yeah. Oh, great question. So I would say, and I touched on this briefly, grounding. I can't remember if it's practice 2 or practice 3, but it's just standing on bare feet on bare earth, and really feeling the earth and really aligning yourself with the energies of the earth. So humans, we're bioelectric beings. We're literally walking batteries, if you will. So we are charged full of bioelectric energies and electricity, magnetism. So being able to stand barefoot on the earth really helps ground and pull all of those heightened energies back down into the earth. So the earth has almost like a magnetic kind of feel to it. So when you're standing barefoot, it's almost like two energies coming together and neutralizing themselves. So standing barefoot on the earth is, in my opinion, the best healing practice that you can do. It's the best. If you're stressed out, all you have to do is go outside and stand barefoot on the earth for about, I would say about 15 minutes, but 5 minutes will do just fine. It will recalibrate you. It will center you, and it will bring you back in connection with the world around you. So I would say that's that's a great practice for anyone out there listening. Can do literally right now. You can go right outside and stand barefoot on the earth, whether that's sand, dirt, grass. I prefer dirt just because grass has electric properties. So I would say dirt or sand. But yeah, like just being able to center yourself and really connect with the earth is super important. Just for health reasons, and just keeps you back in balance. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Nadine or Cece, any additional questions before I ask my final questions?
No, I don't have any other questions.
Yeah, I like what you said about the grounding. I do the grounding. Me and a coworker, she's all like naturopath and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just putting your feet out there, in the grass and or sand, whatever, and when you think about it, way back in the day, like cavemen, right? We didn't have these rubber soles on our with shoes and stuff. We didn't have that. They were like, feet, or they had animal skin for shoes and things. And so you were still connected because, all the energy and stuff. So that's really super, super cool. So I have enjoyed having you so much on the show. We just learned so much about you and just all the writings and all the great things that you're doing. So we just want to wish you continued success in all your endeavors and everything that you're doing. Good job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I watched a video. It was actually today where this lady's on Instagram, and she talked to the trees, and she called them Gaia, and they're interacting with her and touching the face, and people don't believe her. They're like, well, use a tripod or whatever. She put the tripod, and she shows that, hey, the trees are really moving towards me when I'm talking to the trees. So it was pretty interesting. I was going through all her videos, and it was wild. But if you're not a believer, you're not going to believe. But because trees and plants, they have life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so interesting on that point. Anyone that has like plants in their house or like a garden or something like that, if you really sit and watch them, like if you sit for like 20 minutes and just look at the plants, they move and they're talking to each other, and you can like kind of see the energies. And it's really fascinating because it makes you think like, whoa, they're not just like these things that are out there. They're like living. They're living entities. Like there's a whole energy behind them, and maybe they're moving slower than us, and that's why we can't see them talking. But it's fascinating. I'm so curious about that lady that can feel their.
I'm gonna find her link. But listen, after that, I went and talked to my plants. Okay.
Yeah. You're like, hey.
But there's a science talking to plants because my mom has a green thumb.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing with talking to the plants because my mom has a green thumb, and like her plants are beautiful. And so now I talk to my plants like, girl, little plant, girl, you're looking so great. Because I have a dark brown thumb. I'm not black anymore, so we're trying to get these plants. But I do have a plant that sits on my kitchen table, and at night it closes up, and then in the morning it opens up. And if I don't give it like enough water or sunlight, it'll stay closed. So I'm like, and if I add a little bit, then it'll open. The leaves will release. I don't know what the plant's called. I'm gonna have to go find the name, but the plant actually does that. And I'm just enamored by God's creation because I'm like, God, these are the things that you give. Like just having the plants in my home, I use them because they help us, right? Oxygen, but also to cleanse and purify my air. So I try to have live plants, in a lot of the spaces. Some areas I can't have, I got to find the right one because of just lighting and stuff. But the plants are so therapeutic. And now that I'm talking to my little plants and things, some of them are thriving. Others, the struggle is real, but we're talking to those plants, right? And I'm going to graduate to a green thumb eventually. Okay, but we're dark brown for right now. But we're moving.
Please remember the app that I told you to get. Picture This. It's called Picture This. So if there's anything wrong with your plant, you could take a picture of your plant. It will tell you when to water it, what's wrong with it, diagnose it. And they have the paid version and they have the free version. So you could definitely use that, and it will definitely tell you what the name of the plant is. It's called Picture This. Just download it to your phone, use it, and it will tell you what's going on with your plants. If you have too much dirt, too much water.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Nadine. Picture this. Okay, we're going to have to remember that one because I have a couple plants and I mean, so far they're green, so that means I'm doing a good job, right? They're still green and growing and beautiful. So I guess I can call myself a green thumb. Maybe not. We'll see, right?
Listen, none of my friends have green thumb, including Cece. She's getting better because I sent all my friends money trees and they all died.
What? Oh goodness! Oh, bendito. It's okay. It's okay. As long as you can say you tried, that's all that matters.
Well, I guess they have good reasons why.
Well, I will say this: I had, I should say, as of like 2 weeks ago, a beautiful peace plant that I got when Daddy passed away, and a couple weeks ago we found out that the reason why the plant was dying was because my dog was chewing on it.
Oh no!
I didn't know that. I was like, and then my honey catches the dog. And I'm like, well, no wonder the plant is dying because the dog is chewing on it.
That's funny.
So I said that to say, if you have household pets and you realize that your plant might be acting a little wonky, it could be a pet. That's the moral of the story.
And then too, if you have some, because my house has like a lot of lights. If it get too much sunlight, not enough, then it will die. You just have to find the perfect spot where to put it. Yeah,
it's like people. It's like you have to treat them all different.
Yeah.
Yes, that part right there. I love that. And so with that in mind, Nicole, for you, what does being fully alive mean to you right now, especially in the season of life? Like, you have so much going on. You have your books, your productions. You and I are working together on some amazing things. I'm not going to spill the beans too much until people, but we have some amazing things that are coming in the future. And I'm super excited for you all to see. So tell us, what does that look like for you, being fully alive?
Yeah, being fully alive, I think, is just being like fully in your creativity. And my biggest philosophy right now is that we're all co-creators, right? So we all have this creative spark in us. We all are able to bring something of value to the world through our creativity, whether that's building a bridge or creating a beautiful meal as a chef or writing a beautiful story or a poem or making a beautiful piece of art or music. So I feel like being fully embodying your creativity, I think, is the ultimate expression of like what we're here for. And that is what it means to be truly alive and awake, is to really tap into that. And every single one of us has it in us. So it's not that it's, people who work, in corporate America or whatever, and they're not creative. I disagree with that 100%. Every single one of us has something creative in us. And if we just think back to what it was that we did as children, so whether that was drawing or dancing or playing sports or whatever it was, that's your creative avenue. And if we can all tap back into that and bring it out as adults and continue to bring it out and encourage everyone around us, I think the world would be the most beautiful, magnificent place. And we'll all be so happy because we'll be living in our truest potential. So that's what I think.
I believe that we are all creators in our own way.
Yes. Absolutely. Even my 3.5-year-old, earlier I saw him looking at himself in the mirror and singing. I'm like, oh, okay, you sing. I recorded him. I have it in proof, the proof in the pudding. I have it recorded. So when he gets older, I'm like, look, this is what happened when you did. Today's 4/23. This was earlier today. You were singing in front of the mirror.
I love that.
Yeah. So I agree with you. All of us have it in us, right? We see it as kids. We don't really tap into it. But that makes me wonder. It's like, okay, you don't tap into it. Why? Because either someone's bullying you or you really don't believe in yourself. Like, why don't you tap into that? That's a question that I want you all as the viewers and listeners to really think about. Listening to this today, why didn't you tap into that creativity, whether you were an artist, an author, a singer, an actress, right? Whatever it is, or actor, whatever it is, that creativity from a creativity standpoint, playing music, an instrument, whatever it is, why didn't you tap into it? And if not, it's not too late. It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be your teenager, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. You're only as old as you feel, right? That's my philosophy. You could be 80 and you can still feel like you're 30. Hey, more power to you. I love that.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be me, actually. I'm going to be 80, still feeling like I'm 30. Hey, I'm throwing it out there now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the reason why you have we don't wait, we create. Bring out all the creators.
I love that. Thank you, Nadine. See, this is why I have these amazing co-hosts, Nicole, because they stuff like this.
I see. This is amazing.
Why I know people like you, Nicole. You and I have been friends for over a decade already, and it's beautiful. I mean, hey,
right.
I always pray for this, and I shared this with Nadine and Cece before. I pray for God to remove those that are not aligned with me and to bring those closer to me that are aligned with me. And this is why we have this conversation today. So I just love it.
I love it too. Amazing.
Also, I wanted to say this. So for someone who feels stuck or disconnected or just unsure of their path, what would you say to them directly that can help them or influence them to think differently, Nicole? Like, what would be your thought if you were mentoring and coaching someone? Maybe this could be you in real life already mentoring and coaching someone. What would be your words of encouragement for someone like that?
Yeah, well, I'd say buy my book. So that's first. But then I would just say, figure out the thing in your life that makes you the most joyful.
Right.
Find the joy in your life. And if that is creating something, if that's dancing, if that's playing a sport, if that's, just hanging out with your friends, if that's cuddling on the couch with your dog, then do that and live in that moment and try to do that as often as possible and really come back to your joy. Because when you're in a joyful state, then your energy is elevated. The people around you can feel it, and your interactions are more elevated, and it just reverberates out. So I would say that find your joy. Find what makes you happy and continue to do that. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Don't let anyone diminish what makes you happy, because we don't have time for that. We got to all be happy.
I love that. Yes, you're right. Don't let anybody steal your spotlight. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So thank you for sharing that. All right. So we are entering into the segment of last minute words. And this is an opportunity for each and every one of us to remind people how they can find us, follow us, especially with you, Nicole, being our special guest here. Remind people how they can interact with you, where they can find your book. Do you have a website? What projects do you have coming up, right? Anything that comes to your heart. If you have a quote that you want to share, whatever it is that comes to your mind, it is an opportunity for you to share that right now. And so for you to get an idea of how that looks like, I'm going to have Nadine start us first, followed by Cece. Nicole, you'll go third, and I'll close out with the remaining sponsors.
All right. Hey guys, Nadine Barton here, Nadine the author. You can find me on Instagram at NadiaB, NADIAB_1202, as you see on the screen here, or on Facebook, my full name, Nadine Barton. And on my website, if you'd like to take a look at my books, they're also on Amazon. Just type in my name or go to nadinebarton.com. And if you'd like to book a trip, contact me. If you like my luxurious body butters, go to Cabzenza, CABZENZAH.com. And like I always say, life is 10% of what happened to you and 90% of how you react. So treat people kind.
I love it. And those body butters are absolutely amazing. She was so gracious to bring us body butters when she came here to North Carolina on last weekend. So my brother got a body butter, my husband, I got, you get, everybody get a body butter. So it was really amazing. So, hey, I'm your girl, Sienna the Actions with Inspire for Purpose. You can find me at the www.inspireforpurpose.com or girlswithgigs.com. And as I always love to say, love and light and inspire for purpose.
Amazing. Yeah, so I am Nicole Burgess. I am an actress, author, and founder of NBM Publishing. You can find all of my work at nbmbooks.com. There I have all 3 of my published books, including my newest release, which is the Awaken Souls Field Manual, which is available right now at Flyleaf Books in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. You can order signed copies. You can also order on Barnes & Noble and Amazon as well. And I have tons of projects coming up, including my upcoming podcast, Life and Art. And Yessie is one of our guests this season. So we're really excited. We're launching the podcast in May. You can go to the website, nbmbooks.com, and click over to the Blackbird production side, or you can just go to lifeandartpodcast.com. And you can follow me on social media at Nicole Burgess Official on Instagram and Facebook. And I also think LinkedIn. I think that's my handle there as well. And I look forward to connecting with everybody. Thank you so much for having me on. This was so enjoyable. I loved every minute of it. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Nicole. And I feel like we should have you on in the fall for a part 2 because there's other questions I wanted to ask, but being mindful and respectful of time, I didn't ask. So if you would do us the honors, we would love to have you on as a part 2 special guest in the fall, especially after my segment airs. So we'll
Yes.
we'll connect offline and we'll get that in the books for sure.
Perfect.
But that'll be great for you to be on if you can, because I know you're busy, right? So, but before I say my spiel of last minute words, I'm going to give an acknowledgement to our remaining sponsors. So don't go anywhere. Hoy En Día TV. We'll be right back. Quédate ahí. We'll be right back. Okay. Don't go anywhere.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose. Because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cab Zenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing. You too should get Cab Zenza.
Luxurious body butters.
Sponsored by Collective Wear. Available at www.yessierodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
All right. Shout out to our sponsors. We have Cab Zenza. I actually was privileged to get the Luxurious Body Butter by Nadine Cab Zenza, and I love the smell, the texture. Everything was amazing. Like, thank you, Nadine. I love it. I definitely vouch for it. So, stamp of approval. I love my Cab Zenza. Amazing. Also, shout out to Collective Wear for being our sponsor. And for those who want to be sponsors at Hoy En Día, or if you want to be a future guest on Hoy En Día, we welcome you with open arms. hoyendiatv@gmail.com is scrolling at the bottom of your view. Type in hoyendiatv@gmail.com. Send us a message, whether it be a sponsor or a guest, and we will get you in. I will say this. We're getting popular, praise God, right? You can find us on different streaming apps. Was it Apple, Samsung Music, Amazon Music, RSS. We're just in a bunch of different areas. Even visually, you can see us, which is a beautiful thing. Praise God. That means that we're a little booked out. Like, we're booking into like June and July now. So, I mean, hey, it's all good. We're going to get you in. It just might be a little later than you expected, but it's all good. We're eventually going to get you in. So, yes, please reach out to us if you have anything with regards to sponsorship, or if you want to be a guest in Hoy En Día and bring on your business, or have a fun and exciting, enlightening topic that you want to talk to us about. Also, shout out to just everyone who viewed us today. Thank you for the comments, for people who support us, support Hoy En Día TV. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We love what we do. It's amazing. We get to positively educate, influence, motivate, enlighten people with each and every episode. And we did that today again. And just for the future of all that we're doing, praise God for all the blessings. So thank you. Thank you. For those who want to find me and follow me, you can find me on Google. So type in Yessie Rodriguez, or your favorite browser, whether it be Edge or whichever other one. Just type in Yessie Rodriguez and I'll pull up. You can find my Facebook on there, Instagram, LinkedIn, different areas that I'm in. Also, I'm excited to say that I am also featured on Influential Women magazine. And so, yay, I got my badge of approval. I'll be putting a post up on social media, but yes, I'm excited about that as well. So I got my little badge of honor for Influential Women. Yes, I love it. So more to come on that for sure. I have so many amazing things coming up, partnering with Nicole, continuing on Hoy En Día with Nadine and Cece. Just the amazing projects that are coming up. So there's just a lot. God has been elevating me to another level, and I praise God for all the blessings. And so, hey, if you want to be on the bandwagon, I know you have what it takes, reach out to me. Reach out to us. We will get you on board. Also, Slay the Scene Acting Academy, I'm getting people signed up. So if you are interested, if you are a true individual who is interested in acting and modeling and really tapping into who you are, there's so much benefit that you can get from Slay the Scene Acting and Modeling Academy. Reach out to me. I will get you aligned with that, and we will go from there. So, yes, thank you all again for another amazing episode. You three lovelies, thank you. God bless you all. And until next week, take care. Bye.